Unfortunately, this spod mix has enticed some of the bream in here as well.
Oh yeah, you got spod out, haven't you?
Hemp, I didn't think of that. Full of bream, that's not a bream.
I don't know, mate. Never underestimate.
Hello there, carpologists. I'm Joe, and today you join me on the banks of Shearwater in Warminster. And today I'm going to be doing a bit of spodding over the top of 3 closely positioned rods, something I've not really done much of before. I normally surface fish up here because it's a prolific water for surface fishing. Have done a bit already this morning, which is good fun. But just to give myself a bit of a challenge of doing something a bit different, I've got 3 rods set up to go on the bottom. I've wrapped them out at 16 wraps, so they're fishing at exactly the same distance. I'm going to get them out within a nice close proximity to each other and then spod over the top. Now before I start spodding out, I'll quickly talk you through the mix I've made up that's hopefully going to get the fish grubbing around up there and give me a fair few runs. I've got 2 different mixes in here. They're 3 kilogram buckets of ready-made particles from Crafty Catcher. One of them was hemp and maize, and the other one was chili hemp. So chili hemp's being the main flavour in here, and just to boost that flavour in, I've chucked in a chili spod shot as well. So it's really red, quite colourful. The maize is giving that fleck of yellow in there, but mainly hemp, because there's a lot of fish in here. I don't want them to be getting filled up on bigger baits. Small hemp will get them grazing around a lot more. So it's predominantly maize based, but hopefully that's going to get the fish feeding. So that's all 3 rods now out in exactly where I wanted them, all at 16 wraps. Hit the clip nicely, and I know they're very close together because all the lines are pointing out in the same sort of direction. Now it's time to spod. Now to keep everything as accurate as possible, so I'm casting in the same place. I've got the distance sorted with wrapping them out and clipping it, but to get it in the same location, I'm aiming for the bay basically. There's a bay opposite, which is a very distinctive marker, and if it was to get dark, I can see there's a dip in the trees, so I can still aim at it when it gets darker. To spod out, firstly, you need a glove. Now I did do some spodding this morning before I set the camera up. Stupidly didn't use a glove, and I've got a cut in my finger from the braid, so it is good practice to use a glove or a finger stall or something just to protect your skin for when you're spodding out. Because you're using braid and heavy weights, the last thing you want is that cutting through your finger like cheese wire. To make sure that I'm spodding over the right spot as well, I've also clipped this up to 16 wraps. Now there is a slight variation in depth. If you're fishing deeper water, there's the argument of bringing it back so your bait drops above your baits, but where I'm fishing in front of me, it's between 5 foot, probably the deepest point, so I know that it's not going to be far off, and the variability of where the swan's going to land is still going to give you a nice spread of bait around there. So start spodding out, and once you get into the rhythm of things, you'll find it starts to become easier. You'll get that right accuracy, you know exactly how much power to use on each cast, and it should just give you a nice spread of bait over where you're fishing. One last thing to be aware of is that where you cast from makes a big difference on where it's going to land. So I've made sure that every cast I've made has been from the same little tuft of grass, so that every distance is hitting exactly the same spot. Before you cast out, make sure that the clutch on the reel is completely locked solid. You don't want any kind of line slip, because that's another lead-in factor and what can cut into your finger. So make sure that's completely locked solid, nothing's going to slip, and all the power you put into it isn't going to be lost through a slipping clutch. One other thing to note is that when it's hitting the clip, I don't want it to smash the clip and bounce back. I want it to hit it fairly soft and drop exactly where it's hitting the clip. So to let it do that, I'm allowing as much cushioning as possible. I go a bit limp with this arm and just let it cushion with the rod and bounce rather than hitting the clip and coming straight back. Well, that didn't take very long at all. I've been spodding for about 5 or 10 minutes, and the left hand rod just whizzed away on a little wafter. So a bit of introduction of bait, and this one went off. Quite a dumpy fish actually for here. Stick it back, and I'm sure there'll be plenty more to come. If I keep the bait going in, the fish will keep coming. Well, there we go, quite a successful session spodding accurately over a baited spot. We've also been spodding today on the surface. We've been catching quite a lot on the surface, so it's just keeping the fish feeding in a localised area. On a water like this, there's a lot of anglers around. You want to try and keep as many fish in front of you as possible. So by using that method, casting as tightly as possible and keeping all the bait going in one spot, it meant that the fish were staying in one area, weren't necessarily going away. Had quite a few bream as well, but it's all part of the parcel of fishing. This venue in particular, there's quite a lot of them in here. But for more information on the Spod mix I used, the 3 kilo buckets of ready-made particle, dead easy to use because we only organised this session yesterday, so it didn't mean I had to prepare anything, just grabbed a couple of buckets and came fishing and I could spot it straight out. And the spod shots, again, just giving that extra boost of attraction, seems to have done the trick today. So for more information, visit their website. Cheers for watching, and I'll see you again soon.